What's going on, guys? Kingschratz here, back with another video on the channel. And as you can see today, we've got a nice little feast hooked up for you. 8 sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Let me get you one real quick without the addition of the sexy. That is what it looks like. Those are chicken sausages, those are egg whites, and those are just Pillsbury biscuits. Look, I can make biscuits, but I'm not trying to sit here the whole time and make biscuits. Cheese sauce, as promised. As usual, let me get you some cheese. Why can't I turn this thing the right way? You go. Sometimes I can't see myself in the camera because it's off, so there's no actual feedback for me, but that's what we're dealing with. The cheese actually has a little bit of spice to it, so I got some hot sauce. I can't just do regular cheese, but let me get your first bite. This is going to be a mess. You know I'm gonna wipe my mouth a ton of times. I can't stand. Sorry for the mess in advance. I don't know how other people eat on camera because I don't watch mukbangs besides my own. I can't even watch myself. So what you see is what you get. I don't like messy stuff all over my face and my hands. It just is what it is. These right here, this magic that you see, this is a cauliflower top. I do cauliflower because I don't, as you can see, have any vegetables in here, so it's a way for me to sneak them in. Another thing that I will have is this bad boy. I took the label off, but basically it is beets, tomatoes, carrots, cherries. What else is going on there? Lime, pomegranate, and celery juice. There's no additives, there's no preservatives, so it's just a way for me to have my fruits and veggies without actually having to eat them. Because if you don't know this, I don't like fruit at all. At all. So if I'm gonna do this for the content, here, let me just move. Where should I put this? I'm not good at this stuff. I'm gonna put this for here now. I'm gonna let that ride out. But I'm new to this. Normally when I eat my meals, because this type of meal is a meal that I would always have, I usually like to watch TV. I watch Netflix. That's my thing. I'm rewatching 2 shows right now. One of which is on Netflix, which is Stranger Things. So you probably can't see the whole shirt, and I'm not about to stand up because, truth be told, I'm wearing tiny shorts. I like tiny shorts, and we got to keep this PG. They're gray, and you get the idea. But maybe I can get you. I don't want to mess my shirt up. But this is a Camp Nowhere shirt. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, you would know in season. I don't want to spoil anything. It's in the show, all right? I'm also rewatching The Sopranos. Being a North Jersey native myself, I've always loved that show. I've never actually went back and watched the whole thing again. This is my second go around. I did watch it in real time when it first came out. And if you haven't watched it, it's just such a good show. I don't know what kind of shows you guys are into. Let me know in the comments some shows maybe I haven't seen yet. Because I'm not doing these every day yet. Right now we're doing 3 or 4 a week. Other days I'm going to chill, relax. You know, sometimes I have people over. Usually on Sunday I have like Sunday dinner type of deal, which is why you see more of my like cheat meals if you're coming from the gram. But I don't want this to rule my life. That makes sense. I'm trying to have a balance, you know, between being a content creator and being a human. I don't ever want to get to the point where my content takes my life over. So I try to have balance. I don't want my friends, people that I came up with, you know, to forget about me. I don't want to forget about them. If I ever do become a full-time content creator, if this does well enough, it has been doing well, so thank you all that have been watching. I don't know why you guys like to watch me eat, but I am thankful for it. Let me get these bangers time to eat, bro. So that's kind of the status quo. Oh, before I forget, I got a new drink. New sugar-free drink. Can you see that? Can you read that? Where's it at? Is it on bottom? Right here. Green apple Skittles. Sugar free. in a bottle. I have never had this yet, so I don't know what it tastes like. But if I see Skittles, there's no way I'm not going to try them. Skittles is probably my favorite fruity candy. I'm more of a chocolate. I like Reese's, Snickers, but if I had to pick one, Snickers. Starbursts are also dope. This is like, wow. It's not sour apple. It's green apple. It don't really taste like Skittles, but I do like the taste of that. You know what it reminds me of? Somebody in here got to be around my age. If your childhood was in the 90s, like me, do y'all remember Ecto Cooler, the high C, with my man from the Ghostbusters on it, the slime dude? Bro, if you didn't have Ecto Cooler when it was out, you didn't grow up in the 90s. I don't know what it had to have been like for you guys that your childhood was maybe in the 2000s or the 80s. It had to be a little weird, no? Compared to me. 90s kids, I feel like these kids now, like, they don't go outside anymore. Yeah, I'm starting to see kids on bikes. And I realize how annoying I must have been on a bike. So anybody that's watching this that maybe, like, I possibly could have cut off while they were driving, my bad. But we didn't have all of the technology that, Generation Z has, like, or people whose childhood was post 2000. Like 90s kids, we were like the birth of the internet, but there wasn't like all of this social media, Facebook. Facebook came out in the 2000s. There's no MySpace yet, which is still, like, MySpace is old now, but we had America Online. That's what I remember. And you had to, like, go in chat rooms to, like, find friends. It was different. There wasn't trolling or any, it didn't exist yet. You guys have music and iPhones at your fingertips, where we thought it was like revolutionary. 90s kids, stay with me now. If you were a kid in the 90s, or even like an adult teenager, you know about this stuff. Generation Z is probably like, how did you even live? But we had this thing. This is before the days of Spotify and streaming. There was no streaming back then. You had to download everything. So there was this thing called Winamp, and we got to play MP3s, which MP3s still exist, I get, but nobody uses them and everybody streams. But back then you had to go in a chat room, and then you had people that you had to ask for songs, and they just had them, like virtual DJs, and then they would send you the file, which could be a virus, which a lot of times it was, and you had to download that. You had to play it through an app. They weren't even called apps back then. It was a program, because this is Windows 95 now, called Winamp. Well, that's how we got our music. And if we wanted to walk around town listening to music, we had to bring a radio. Like, a lot of us used to walk around with CD players. Like, they were big. I'm trying to think how big a CD player was. Like, look, they were bigger than an Xbox. I'll put it that way. They were bigger than a PlayStation 4. They were bigger than any of that. And people walked around with CDs, and if you couldn't, we had bikes, so we'd have it like attached to the handlebars, and it'd be swinging around, and like sometimes it'd just skip on you. Like CDs were like the coolest thing ever, because we could play music without having to. Before that, we had tapes. Like, I know y'all heard of this stuff, but you have to understand how it operated. We had tapes, and if you wanted to hear your favorite song, you had to find it. You had to pause and rewind until you got to your favorite song. I know it's crazy for y'all to think about, but I'm just telling y'all about the 90s. So you had to find your song. Like, I remember buying Biggie's album, Notorious B.I. I know y'all know he's a legend, but New York, New Jersey kids, like, that was like, obviously. So when his first album came out, he was big. But then the second album came out, and I remember my favorite song on the album was Mo Money, Mo Problems. And I had to find it every single time. Like, you had to go and press past and fast. It was such a hassle compared to now. So CDs came out now, you could just go to your favorite song. And that was like, oh man, you ain't even got to pass on, pause and rewind. Which is crazy to think about. Like, it's such a stupid thing. But you guys don't realize how good you have it now. You can just go to Spotify and stream stuff. When I wanted to get my favorite CD, I had to go to stores. Sam Goody was the spot around here. You had to go into Sam Goody, find the CD, buy the whole CD, like $15 to $20 for one CD. Or you could get the single, right? I remember the last single I bought was probably, mid-90s. So it had to be, who was a one-hit wonder back then? It don't even matter. But you could buy the single, and the single was literally like just buying a CD or a tape with like 2 songs on it. It would have like the regular and the remix, and that's it. So it was so much different. Or you could do this. This is another thing 90s kids do. You will wait on the radio. You will wait for it to come on the radio, and you have your tape ready. And then it will come on, you record it off the radio. But a lot of times, like I said, I grew up here in New Jersey, but I live basically in New York City for the outsiders. Like, New York City is, if I sit on my roof, I can see Manhattan skyline. Like, that's how close I live to it. So back then, Hot 97 was the only station around that played hip hop. And there was a dude, he's still around. A lot of y'all probably look at him like an angry old dude, but he was like, you know, the man back then. Still is to me. But Funkmaster Flex still exists. He still, you know, he don't like all this new stuff. I like some of it, but that's not the story. Flex was awesome. But the problem with Flex was, and he probably did this on purpose, he would drop the bomb. Like, it was this explosion sound, right? On the thing, it was like, every single time. So when your song came on, he would play it, and he would drop the sound, and he'd rewind it, and start it over again. He would keep doing it. So you would have like a 20-minute song for one song, and then he would start talking. He would be like, yo, this is Funk Flex! Stand up in your... And he would just ruin the whole Snake. You ain't got the song, you gotta wait till it comes on again. It was just different back then. We didn't have all this stuff now, the streaming and the Netflix and the... But the best part about being a 90s kid, like I said, kids in the 90s, if you're of that age bracket, right? So if you were a childhood in the 90s, you've got to be, you know, around 30. Somewhere around that area, which I am. So, the best part about 90s childhood, y'all never get to experience this, and it was an event. Every Friday, your mom would take you to this magical place called Blockbuster Video. Let me tell you, that was the highlight of my week. You go, there'd be like a special, right? You get like 3 movies or 2 movies in a video game for like $12, right? And video games was 5-day rentals, and I was always been a gamer. So I'd go to the video game section, pick up a game for like Super Nintendo. Yeah, we was 16-bit here. All these realistic games, you don't like that back then. And you get a movie, and you had to hope that it was there. So like the new like Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, action movies, because that's what it was about in the 90s, action movies. You know, new Bruce Willis come out, like Die Hard 5. I think Die Hard 3 was on it, whatever. And if it wasn't there, you'd just be sad. And you had to wait. And you just had to go back and hope it was there. But we rode bikes a lot. And we had to come inside when the light turned on. And we had beepers, not cell phones. I had a beeper. A lot of my friends didn't have beepers, but my parents were a little overprotective. They beat me, and I didn't pick that up. I'm like, I probably had like a 13-minute window. It was really 10, but 13 ain't let it slide. If I didn't pick that up, I wasn't going outside for like 2 months. So then in the summer, our summer consisted of riding around on bikes the entire day to whatever fast food establishment / the mall. That's it. You're expecting more? Because there's not. That's all we did. It seemed a lot more simple back then. I see kids now and they've got like, I couldn't imagine being like, you know, in the 90s, I was like 5. Like, I couldn't imagine being like a 5-year-old with a cell phone. My nephew had an iPad when he was like 6. Like, you had access to the internet when you're 6? Wow. Y'all don't even know. Most of y'all don't even use like desktop computers anymore. If we wanted to go on the internet, you had to be on the computer. And it took you about 15 minutes just to log on to the internet. Y'all, the dial-up modems, now we have like Fios and Wi-Fi. And no, you had to be attached to the phone line. You have a phone line specifically for your computer if you were cool enough. Otherwise, you just had one line for the house, which was even worse. And back then, American Online was like the cool thing. So it would take probably like 7 minutes to get all the way across, and it would make all these weird sounds like, and then you would get on there, right? There was like a girl or, you know, some people, a guy you liked, and they had AOL too, so you'd be talking, you'd be like, sup, S-U-P, wink, semicolon. Y'all know that, y'all got emojis now. Emoticons were popular back then, it just came out. And you'd be like, sup. That was your pickup line. Sup. We didn't know what to do back then. And if you had to send somebody a picture of yourself, right? You had to scan it. You had to put it in a scanner to send them the damn picture. I had one picture growing up. It was my class picture. I wore glasses. I don't really wear them anymore, unless I'm gaming or driving. But I used to wear them all the time as a kid. I even played basketball with the goggles. I don't wear the goggles anymore. I used to have the goggles. But here's a true story. This is my first taste of rejection. I swear to you, this is 100% true. I was with my friends, right? Me and about 3 other kids, that's a 4, I said. Me and about 3 other kids I grew up with that lived around me back then. You know, we used to like, it was like going to the club, but you go to AOL chat room, pick up girls. So you talk to them. So you go into like teen chat or whatever. Mind you, at this point, like we're like, you know, this is around like the turn of the 20. I think I was in like the 7th grade, so I was probably like, what, like 11, 12 years old, right? No, I was 11 because I skipped a grade, so I was 11 in 7th grade, so it was right around the time. So you would figure it's like 97, somewhere around there, 98, I was in middle school. Yeah, something, whatever, doesn't matter. So, go in the chat room, right? And back then, there was a thing you had to do when you like saw someone that you thought was cool. You didn't know anything about them. All they had was a name, but like you were interested. So you would go, sup. That's how you, sup. you I am, instant message. Right? Just wait for it, because it's embarrassing for me. I still remember this. Sup. A/S/L. Age, sex, location, right? So, you had to say, like, back then it'd be like, you know, 11/M/New Jersey. Like, for me. So it's like, sup. And, you know, I gave her mine, she gave me hers, and she was like 11, 12, something like that, like my age. It's so embarrassing, bro. And I was like, cool, Kewl. Oh, God. You got a pic? And she was like, S2R. This was the lingo back then. Send to receive, right? So I had to send a picture of myself to get a picture back. Oh, man. So I send my picture, right? That was what the equivalent of sliding in DMs was back then, shooting your shot. So I shot my shot, sent a picture. And up until that point, every time I sent a picture, I got positive feedback. I'm not trying to say like I'm the best looking guy in the world, but man, it could have just been being nice, right? But people were always like, oh, you're cute. And then we would talk, like, whatever. It would never lead to anything, but you just like be like online friends for like a week, and then you like can not talk to anybody ever again. So I send you the thing, and my friends are all with me. They're like around me, because I was like, oh, I'll show you how to do this, son. Show you how to do this, son. We're from, you know, New Jersey. We say son a lot. You don't really say it no more. Let me show you how to do this, son. Right? So I send a pic, and she sends back, ew. That's all she sent back, bro. Oh, that was an L. Excuse me. I laughed that one out. That was like the first L I ever took. She was like, ew. I was like, what? She goes, you're a 4 eyes. I was like, oh, right? I had glasses. She was like, I don't like 4 eyes. That was the end of the conversation. But my boys was clowning me, bro. Yeah. I hope you're watching this, wherever you are. Woman who said you're 4 eyes. Because if you are, look at me now. I don't wear no fucking glasses no more. And I eat food on camera. That's not an accomplishment. But that really happened. Normally times, like, you know, that would work. Like, there was no Tinder back then. Like, I know Tinder's for adults, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there was no Facebook, no Instagram, no MySpace. Like, you had to work. You had to work. And, like, you couldn't slide into girls' DMs you thought was cute at school. You had to do stuff in person. What are we saying? You gotta do it in person. Because y'all do that. Because a lot of y'all don't do that. Y'all slide in DMs with, like, burner accounts and stuff. Back then, you had to really, like, boss up. You had to catch her in the hallway. Or him, like women did it too, you know, or whatever. You had to catch her in the hallway and be like, sup. Yo, y'all need to try that. Go up to someone that you like. Sup. Just say that. Don't even say nothing else. Just look at them. Just say sup. It used to work, man. Sup. Now I don't know about that. So, yeah, man. That's what you had to do. And if you were lucky enough, which you could also do this too. In school, you could pass them a note. So you write a note. Do you like me? Circle yes or no. Please send back. Bow, sup. Here's your note. Run away. You run away. And she go into class. She circle yes or no. She circle yes. It's on. Alright. What's your phone number? Now to get their phone number. No, not cell phone. We couldn't do that back then. No. You gotta call her house. You gotta call the house. Now you call the house. Now imagine me, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13, 14 at this point, calling the house 9, 10 o'clock at night. You think she picked up the phone? No. Guess who picked it up? The dad. When I was in the 8th grade. I'm telling y'all all my stories, man. Whatever. It was just funny. When I was in the 8th grade, there was this girl I used to like. She was Colombian. Do I even have to go on from there? But, you know, pretty girl, smart girl. Liked her a lot. Chopped it up, closed school. She's in a lot of my classes. She gave me her number. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I got this girl's number. Right? I didn't tell nobody because I thought she was clowning. Yo, her dad was scary, bro. Her parents, bro, like, you have to call the dad pickup, right? So imagine you, scared as hell because you're scared to even, you didn't even talk to this girl like that before, right? Or guy. I know women do this too, but usually the guys just want to call the girls, whatever. But you call 10 o'clock at night, you sitting there playing Mario Brothers, right? You got to soup yourself up because you got to make yourself sound cool. On the phone, hello, you know what I'm saying? You put a little bass in your voice because we was all like not even hearing puberty yet. Hello. So you call, and the dad picks up, and he's like, Hispanic dude. Hello. Who is this? Dave. What do you want? I'm not gonna say her name. Can I speak to? I still know her name, but no. Hold on. And I hear him. Back then I didn't speak Spanish. But I'm sure it didn't sound good. I do understand Spanish now. He's probably like, who, this dude on the phone. And she'd be, close the door, right? She'd be, hello, and you'd be all cool, chopping it up. And you had to work for it. Well, this is the other thing you could do. Say you had a mutual acquaintance. Here's another one. One time, this was going into, I think freshman, no, 8th grade again. Damn, 8th grade. That was like, 8th grade was like when I started to like, get like taller and whatever. So like, I guess, I don't know, whatever. So, there was a girl. I don't have a type. But I usually had phases growing up. Now I don't have a type, but back then I did. You know, as time went on. When I was in 7th, 8th grade, all I ever talked to were Hispanic women. And this one, she was Puerto Rican. And I saw her. This is the truest story. I'm telling you, I don't make that up. I don't cap, whatever. This is the third way you can do it. I saw her, right? We was at the fair. Just so corny, bro. We was at the fair. Yeah, the fair, right? The Ferris wheels and like the, you know, the zipper, cotton candy, all that, right? Around here, we have things called like feasts, which are like smaller versions of fairs. Usually they're done by like the Italian churches in the area, the Catholic churches in the area, things of that nature. So there was one that was behind the Kmart. You can tell by my specifics. I'm not making this up. So when I got there, I was with the squad. Same dude. I was always. We was like the United Nations, right? Had one kid who was Filipino, and my other brother, my homeboy, Jamaican. We was always together. It was us back then. All right, so we go see in the Ferris wheel, right? So now I get off the Ferris wheel. No, I was on the zipper. She was on the Ferris wheel. Now I remember because my dude was with me and he's scared to go on rides a lot. I hope you ain't watching this, but if you are, because we still keep in touch, use a punk. It don't matter. You know who I'm talking about too, bro. Anyway, I get off the zipper. She get off the Ferris wheel. Puerto Rican girl. I'm like, yo, who's that? I didn't know who she was. The fair lasts 3 days, but I ain't had no heart, so I couldn't say nothing. So you do the next best thing. I have a cousin. She's a female. She was in the same grade as me. Yo, who's that? She knows her. Hey, see what's up. That's what you had to do. I know y'all still do that, but it was different back then. You had to see what's up in a different way. So I noticed her looking at me from time to time. The Puerto Rican girl, very pretty girl. And I was like, yo, huh? She's like, oh, that's just, and she told me right now, like, oh, you went to school with her? Because we went to different schools, elementary schools. You know, going into middle school where everybody like goes to one middle school. But she went to school with her. She's like, oh, she went to school with me. You want to talk, blah, blah. Hell yeah, I want to talk to her. All right, call me later. So she goes, she puts in the go rock. I see her, she's pointing me out, right? I'm over here like trying to look cool with my little cotton candy and my Zeppelis. Zeppelis are like fried balls of dough. It's like almost like a funnel cake, but balls of dough. Like pizzerias serve them around here, right? So in a bag of funnel cakes, shaking them up with my cotton candy and my drink. Right? How my Tommy Hilfiger on. That's right, my Jordans. Cool. All right, I see her, right? So my cousin is like, you know, she thinks you're cute. She comes back. She's like, call me later. So I call my cousin late. It's like, hey, this is what you had to do back then. There's a thing called three-way, right? Well, a three-way was not what you're thinking, you nasty. Three-way is a three-way phone call. So I call my cousin. She says, hold on. She goes to the other line, because if you press the thing that goes to the other line, you hear a dial tone. So she calls her, presses it back, and now we're all three in the party chat. See? Three-way phone conversation. So she calls, and I'm on the phone like this. Just listen. You can't talk. You talk, you ruin the whole thing. Don't talk. 90s stuff. Y'all know about this. Can't even open this. My hands has all got cheese grease on them. There it is. So she on the phone. Hey, remember my cousin I told you about? Yeah. He said you're cute. He want to take you out sometime. Where the hell are we going? We in a car, we on money. She like, oh, he's cute. Tell him to call me. She's like, oh, he here. So she like, put him on the phone. Right? So I'm not even in the same building as her. Every dude back then, I don't know if women did this. I can only talk from like a guy's perspective because I didn't like hang out with women back then. Like you know, y'all had your thing and the guys did theirs. Yeah. So you had to put on that cool voice. We all had a cool voice. You use the cool voice when you're talking to a female that you like. So my cousin's like, oh yeah, now he right here, hold on. So I act like I ain't even listening, right? I'm fumbling on the phone even though it's right here like this. And I pick it up and I go, it's my voice right here. True story. Hello? That was my voice. Hello? He said, oh, who are you? My name David. Start chopping it up. End up being my girlfriend. Like, we started talking after that. By the time school started, because the fair was in the summer, she was my girl. Yeah. Hello. The other time that you use the cool voice. Back then, y'all don't have to do this anymore. Because no one calls anybody. But if you were cool enough to have your own phone line in your house, I was. I had my own phone line. My parents were very nice to me. They gave me my own phone line with a cordless phone. That was a big deal. You had to have a cord so you could move. But in the 90s, answering machines were like the end all be all. You know, you leave a message, beep that. What you had to do, and everybody did it too. You pick out your favorite song, right? And you let it play. Like answering machine starts. You know? It'd be like, you pick up, you'd be like, it was all a dream. The song start playing, and you turn it down. It's so true, bro. And then you'd be like, yo, this is Dave. I can't even make the voice. I'm trying not to laugh, bro. Yo, this is Dave. I can't come to the phone right now. If you leave your name and your number and a message, I'll get back to you. Peace. Turn shit back up and you let the song play. Cool voice. What do y'all do now? Like, I guess you just answer the text whenever you see it, right? Wasn't none of that back then. You had to be home. She had to be home. Or whatever. Whatever you was interested in. You had to be home. We had no other way of communication. You had beepers, but you still had to get to a phone. Y'all lucky y'all don't realize none of this stuff. I had to trust. She had to trust. It was just a different ballgame, man. Y'all got it easy. But those were 90s kids. HBO was new. Not really, but it was kind of new. No cell phones. No text messages. No Tinder. You go to the mall. Walk around a food court. Do y'all do? Because I think the kids still do that now. Because I went to the mall. Because the movie theater is in the mall we're at. Right? I was on a entanglement to the movies. Y'all know what entanglement is. Y'all can look that up. Jada Pinkett Smith made that very famous. I was on an entanglement in the movies, and I noticed there was like a lot of teenagers in the food court, which was like below the movie theater at the mall I go to. So I guess I'll still do that, right? But we used to have to do that. We have to take the bus though, or like because my parents went to work. They take a bus. Yeah, $2. Went in there, and get back, or you can ride your bike. That was the only way you worked it. Then you go to the mall, right? You ain't buying nothing. You ain't got no money. You had $2. You're lucky you had $3. Then you can get yourself a pretzel from like, the Wetzel joint. That's always been there. Those were there back then too. So if you're lucky, you get yourself a Wetzel pretzel. That's about it. You just go to the mall. And see somebody you like? Sup? Yeah, I'm bringing that back. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start going back to like, I don't even know where people hang out anymore because I'm a homebody. Plus we got this whole quarantine thing. But next time we do, sup? Bro, y'all don't know nothing about that. It worked though, because you was cool. For some reason, and it's probably still the same. Back then, if you just acted like you didn't care, then like the girls liked you. But if you cared, then like, nah. The dudes I knew that were like, oh no, I kicked my own thing. Hold on, we gonna get the camera back. I got excited. The dudes I know that were always like sensitive. I'm not a sensitive person just by nature. I'm just not. But those dudes, they'd be like crying and get no girls. Even the married ones. Their wives like yell at them. I know like people yell at each other and stuff, but like they just be getting yelled at all the time. I'm like, clean out the room! And the dude be like, okay. Like, me, I'm like, I cleaned it this time, you clean it next time. That would be something I would say. probably have to negotiate. But it was a different era. But, you know, that's my advice. Just don't be soft. And don't ever let women tell you that they want a sensitive guy, because they don't. They absolutely don't. No way. Honestly, are you a sensitive guy, male, watching this? Did you enjoy your sensitivity? You don't do that. It doesn't work. And I'm not saying to act. If you're a sensitive person, be that. Somebody will like it. But 9 times out of 10, like if you crying all the time and stuff, it's just not gonna work. Don't do that. Stay in your cool zone. Don't try to act cool. That was the me as a kid, not now. Now we're going to present time. Just be you. If they don't like you for you, then be you somewhere else. That's my biggest advice I can give to anybody. Don't be fake. Especially in like a relationship, or if you're trying to get in a relationship. Like, don't lie about who you are or whatever. Like, don't be like, oh, you know, I've only dated one guy or girl my entire, like, if you had 47 girlfriends or 47 boyfriends, like, say you had 47 boyfriends, because just be you. Like, if you have to fake it, eventually, like, the truth's gonna come out, because you're gonna want boyfriend number 50, and then they're gonna be like, oh, no, you know? I feel like people lie too much. I don't lie. I used to go on dates and stuff, and I don't really do that anymore. I know that sounds horrible, but I think dates are dumb. I'm not even lying. That sounds so horrible right now, but I just think the concept of like a date, I don't get the point. Unless it's like something low key. I mean, I guess that counts as a date. I'm talking about like the people who go like, okay, let me clarify. Dates are fine. I've gone to the movies and like to dinner and stuff like that. I'm talking about like the Casanovas of the world. Like, there's probably a lot of dudes that are gonna hate me for this. I only got one biscuit left, so we can break this down. A lot of biscuit crumbs though. I'm not finna eat no biscuit crumbs. Like, that's just stupid. Ladies, let me just tell you something. Fellas, if you get mad at me for this, good, because you're a jerk. If you're, like, talking or dating or married to a guy who, like, I'm trying to find the right words. I don't want to misword this. Says and does all the right things that you perceive. Like, a guy who buys you flowers all the time and, like, is all like, ooh, baby, I was just thinking about you. And, like, that's crap. He's a liar, and he's probably cheating on you. I'm just telling you that. Like, people who are overly good, like, with words, they're not good, but, like, they're, like really, like, you know, like, I just wanted to give you this because it's Tuesday. And then Wednesday's like, oh, here's some chocolates. And then, like, Thursday's like, ooh, hey, babe, I just wanted a good morning text. Just wanted to let you know how much I'm thinking of you. Like, no, he's not. He's just telling you what you want to hear. Just being honest, bro. I call those types of guys Romeos, Casanovas. I have a friend like that. And he's so full of shit. He knows it too. Like, stop lying, bro. Like, I don't do that stuff. That's not gonna, like, it doesn't. Yeah, people will fall for that, but, like, the ones that fall for that, like, those are not the ones you want to date. Because, like, they're gullible. Unless you want a gullible person. I'd rather have a significant other that would be like, why are you saying all this stupid stuff? Like, I like a woman, personally, that would just be like, yo, I'm at McDonald's. I got you something. That's dope. I'm that. Like, you know, I talk about food all the time. Obviously, look at me. You know, I'm like, I might send you a text message and be like, yo, I got you a chocolate shake. I didn't even ask you. I just got it. Like, I know you like chocolate shakes. I don't give a shit if you want the chocolate shake or not. You're going to drink this shake when I bring it in front of you. So, Just shut up and take a shake. But like, flowers? What the fuck are you gonna do with a flower, bro? Seriously, what are you gonna do with a flower? Like what? Hang it, like put it in some water for a couple of days, and then what? Like that has nothing. It doesn't even taste good. It just looks cool over there. You think guys grow up thinking about getting someone flowers? No, they do it because it's what you want to do, what you want to hear. And if you like that kind of stuff, I understand, because like that's the perception of what a good significant other would be. But like, you got to find your priorities. That's really not where it's at. You know what you should be looking for a significant other? Someone who makes you laugh. Someone who pleases you, as far as I go with that. Someone you can just be yourself around and not feel judged by it. And somebody with a decent credit score. You'd be alright after that. Buys you flowers should be like number 900 on the list. Like, I get it if you want it as a bonus, but you can buy a house with flowers. You know what I'm saying? That diamond ring ain't coming with no flowers. You're gonna have credit. Anything on credit, it ain't gonna pop. You can't buy a house without credit. Unless you're, shit, even billionaires have good credit. So, you gotta have credit. That's important. You start worrying about that stuff when you start getting around 30. Buys you flowers is only important when you like watch Ryan Gosling in a movie, you know? And fellas, she's hot. That's not what's important anymore. Yes, you have to be attracted to the person that you're with. She's hot. That's not 30 years of marriage. I'm just being honest. Like, of course you're going to want to be attracted to someone that you're with. I'm not telling you to go find an unattractive to you person. What I'm telling you is the one you find attractive that you can just chill and it's just y'all, you two, and it's like a good time. You know, no matter what you're doing, you be watching TV. You could be in a room with no lights. That sounds horrible. You get what I'm saying. You could be in a room with nothing in it and still be entertained by that person. And still be okay with that person. And this whole quarantine thing, people have found out a lot about the people that they're with because you can't get away from them. You either realize how much you like that person a lot, or you realize how much you just made a terrible mistake and you're stuck with this person forever. I bet the amount of babies that are going to be had somewhere around here and the amount of divorces that are going to be had are skyrocketing. Because you're going to find out quick. Your relationship has either grown or it's fallen apart. Mark my words. So, worry about that kind of stuff. Worry about who you can be around all the time. And you don't get tired of them. Because, like, once you decide to be in a serious relationship, like, they're around all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean all the time. Like, when you live with somebody, it's not like being a roommate. It's like more. Complete invasion. Because y'all sleep in the same bed. When you wake up, they're there. When you go to bed, they're there. You come home, they're there. When you're leaving, they're probably not there. But 9 times out of 10, unless you're at work, like, you guys are around each other. So just make sure that you, like, care. I'm not going to eat all these eggs. Because now they're cold. And cold eggs just don't bring in the points. But yeah. That was my stories for today. In synopsis, the 90s were the best to me. Obviously. And don't fall for crap. And find somebody that's dope. Not just they're hot or he drives a Beamer. You'll last a lot longer. But anyway, it's been your boy kingschratz. I had a blast talking about absolutely nothing for 30 minutes. It's funny what you can say to just a blank camera. Right there. You guys can't tell, but this thing, there's just some blue lights. And I'm talking to a blue light right now. It's very weird. And I'm going to do another one. This uploaded will be, what's today? Today's Tuesday? Today Monday? Whatever. It will be whatever day that is. And there will be another one 3 days from now because I won't do a record tomorrow, but I'll record the next day with more of like the cheat meals. So we're going to do regular meals, we're going to do cheat meals, kind of what people perceive as a cheat meal. But I'm still gonna cook my food, and I'm gonna eat some stuff and try some stuff. You know, throughout the thing, I happen to live in a great place, and you know, I know a lot of wonderful people in the food industry, so we'll try some different stuff. We'll talk about some different topics. If you guys have some stuff you want to touch on, I might do a Q&A. So if you have some stuff you made it this far, like you really watched the video. Some people just skim through it, which I would too. I wouldn't want to watch me. But if you have something you want to touch on, you talk about, go ahead and drop it in the comments, drop likes. The likes do help. I know people say that stuff, but it really does actually help with the whole tube thing, the YouTube, whatever this is. So, yeah, that's it. It's been your boy, kingschratz. I love y'all. Hand signs have made it to YouTube.